You might wonder if you have the strength. Do you have the will? Do you have the Spirit? You might question. Do you have what it takes? Do you have the will? Do you have the strength? You might doubt. That you have all that is necessary. That you have the will, the strength, and the Spirit. But be not concerned. Worry not. Doubt not. Question not. For he that calls you is faithful. He that commands you is faithful. He that lifts you higher is faithful. As Paul says in Thessalonians, he who calls you is faithful, who will also do it. You're not on this journey alone. You're not on this faith walk alone. You're not on this pilgrimage alone. You've been called. You feel the pull. You feel compelled. Your conscience, which is Elohim, calling out to you, which you have suppressed, which you've turned a blind eye to, you've turned a deaf ear, you've turned away your whole life. But your conscience, it beckons you. It might barely be a whisper at this point. You've pushed it down so far, but you still hear it, you still know it. And you know when you tune into it, it's louder than it's ever been. He who calls you is faithful. Yahuwah, our Elohim, the supreme Elohim, the Most High, he who brings life, he who breathes life, he who creates life. Provides the strength. I am weak. I am weak. I am weak. The flesh is so weak. I am weak of mind. I am weak of spirit. I am weak. The body is weak. The body is weak. The soul is weak. The spirit is weak. But in Yahuwah, I have all strength and more to carry out his will. My will is weak. But Yahuwah fills me with the will to move relentlessly, ceaselessly, unconquerably, unassailable, undefeatable, unstoppable, undeniable. All is his will. Nothing that I am, nothing that I will be, nothing that I have, nothing that I do not have. Is not his will. It is all his will. And he gives me the will. He fortifies my will. My will is his will. Every day I pray that he dissolves my ego, that he obliterates my ego, that he completely evaporates my ego and turns me into a pure instrument of his will, a pure vessel for his message, such that I can accurately, honorably, respectfully, with all hope and passion and strength, deliver his message of healing love, healing energy, and living water to as many of his children and lost sheep as I possibly can, and so that I can help whoever needs to hear understand that you, like I, can find hope and help, guidance and direction, peace and solace, motivation and inspiration, strength and solutions, healing and love, purpose and salvation, forgiveness and redemption through the only Son of the Supreme Elohim, the perfect Lamb of Yahuwah, who gave all so that we would know Yahuwah once and forever, that said that we would have salvation and forgiveness and redemption, and so that we would have everlasting life in the kingdom of Yahuwah. He is our salvation. He is our redemption. He is our will. He is our strength. I am weak of spirit. I am weak of spirit. But he fills me every day with the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. Fills me such that I'm bursting forth with his life. I have more light than I know what to do with. It bursts forth from me in an infinite number of rays, such that I am called to pay it forward. I am compelled to shout from the rooftops. I am pulled to deliver this message to you today, as I am every day, as I will every day, because it is my greatest obligation and also my greatest joy. It is the least I could ever do, and it's the most I could ever do, because I am only human. I am imperfect. I am fallible. I make mistakes. I am evil. I am sinful. But I live in Yahushua HaMashiach. And in so doing, he makes all things possible. All things are possible through Yahushua HaMashiach, the Son of the Most High. The Most High who saves. The Most High who redeems. The Most High who delivers. Yahuwah, the Most High who breathes life. And Yahusha, the Most High who saves. One and the same. Along with the Ruach HaKodesh. One and the same. He who calls is faithful. Yahuwah is consistent. Yahuwah is reliable. Yahuwah can be trusted to deliver on his promises. Every promise he makes, he delivers on. Such that in having faith in Yahuwah, you receive that faith. You receive that strength. You receive that will. You receive that ruach, that spirit. He provides the resources. He provides the tools for us to be righteous, for us to be justified, for us to be sanctified. You don't do this on your own. You don't do this on your own. And in so doing, in so being an instrument of His will, a vessel for His message, you love Him with all of your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and you love your fellow man as you love yourself. He gives you the ability to do that. He gives you the strength to do that, and He gives you the strength to be what you were meant to be while you are here. Faithful to Him, so that you receive all that you could ever ask for and more, so that all is revealed to you. You might think you need a teacher, but you don't. You might think you need a priest, but you don't. You might think you need a religion, but you don't. You don't need the Pharisees, you don't need the Sadducees, you don't need the scribes, you don't need the wise men, you don't need the holy men, you don't need the magi, you don't need the yogi, you don't need all those who sell you on a path to the kingdom to come, that sell you on a gateway that you pay a ticket for to know the Father. The only way to the Father is through the Son. He is your teacher. He is your guide. He provides the way, the truth, and the life. So how do you access it? He lives within you. You go inward. He lives within you. You ask and you receive. You seek and you find. You knock on His door. He answers immediately. You don't want to knock on that door after it's all over, because what you're going to hear at that point, you don't want to hear. Because when you live this life blind to Yahuwah, deaf to Yahuwah, unknowing to Yahuwah, when you cross over and you knock on that door, what you will hear is, "I knew you not." And it'll be the worst thing you've ever heard. Your heart will break. My heart breaks just thinking of it. Because you will hear the everlasting joy. You will hear the everlasting healing. You will hear the everlasting love. You will hear the everlasting peace. You will hear the everlasting life. But the door will be closed to you. And that is heartbreaking. Given that here, it is waiting for you. Here, it is easy. Here, it is free and available at a moment's notice, because it's within you. It lives within you. Here, in this illusion, this mirage, this hallucination, the only thing that is real is Yahuwah, Yahusha. The moment you knock on the door here, He shows up. He arrives. He fills you with His love and His healing and His joy and His peace and His solace. He wipes away all your pain, all your misery, all your suffering, and He gives you all the answers. Everything. You don't need these Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes. Woe to you, Pharisees! Woe to you, scribes! Hypocrites, liars! In Him you find truth. He delivers the revelations. He delivers the epiphanies. He delivers the instructions. He delivers the blueprint on how to live your life in a manner that pleases Him most. He who calls you is faithful. He who calls you is faithful, who will also do it. And you will receive more than you could ever ask for, more than you have ever hoped for, more than you could ever imagine, such that your cup will run over your cup will overflow. Your cup will absolutely just build up and bestow upon you a treasure, a wealth, a richness, such that it is hard for me to describe. And hopefully, what I'm saying resonates in some small way. And if you're feeling it, hold on to it. Hold on to it and ask. Ask for his salvation, and it will be with you forever. For he who calls, Yahuwah who calls you is faithful, who will also do it. He works through me. He works through you. He works through us who live in his name. But you will receive more than you've ever imagined, more than you asked for, more than you will ever know, such that you will be compelled to pay it forward, to shout from the rooftops, to sing the good news, to sing the gospel, to sing about his healing love, his healing light, and his living water, such that you never thirst. Every day I do these workouts, I get into flow state, I get into the zone, and that connection gets boom. As I'm working out, I'm not listening to the music that's blaring in the gym. I'm not listening to the hype. I'm not listening to the grunts and the groans and the weights clanging. All the stuff I used to listen to, all the stuff I used to find motivation, and all the stuff I used to get motivation from and inspiration from. All of that. That is, I don't even hear it anymore. I go deep, I go inside, and I nurture my soul every day with the word, with the parables, with the phrases, with the life of Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah, his teachings, no one else's teachings, his words, the words of his apostles. And if you want, you could just nurture yourself with his teachings only, if that's what you wanted. Directly from Hamashiach, directly from the Messiah, what he said, how he lived his life, his parables. And you can just ruminate on that. But what will happen is Yahuwah will cultivate the word within you. The word will blossom within you, and you will seek. And in so doing, you will become stronger in spirit. The Ruach HaKodesh will fill you up stronger and stronger and stronger. Your will in Yahuwah will be stronger and stronger and stronger. Your faith in Yahuwah will be stronger and stronger and stronger. And all of this, loving him with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, just becomes inevitable. It becomes the real. It becomes the very fabric of your makeup, of your DNA, of every molecule that makes you up, of every fiber of your being, of every cell within your body. It compels you. And the love you have is evident, it's real, it's true, it's unquestionable, it's undeniable, it's unassailable. In many ways, it's perfect love. You love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And then you understand, as Hamashiach said, you love your fellow man as you love yourself. You understand this is all of his teaching. He gives it to you wrapped up in the gospel. He tells you what does all mean. He just gives you he breaks it down to its most simple formula. So its most simple directive, its most simple guidance from that, right there, love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. In that right there, everything else that he says and his apostles says, everything else branches off from that. But if that's all you know, everything will become evident. You will receive all and more. All will be revealed. All will be revealed as you go deep in prayer, as you repent, as you ask for forgiveness because you finally feel, not that you haven't felt before, but now you know it. Now you know it. Now you can't deny it. You feel the guilt. You feel the shame. You feel the horror. You feel the sorrow for what you were, for the way you acted, for how you expressed yourself. For all those years you wallowed in sin and evil and despair. All of those years that you were cruel and hard-hearted. All of those years you were angry and lashed out at the world and had rage and hatred and jealousy and envy and, all of it. Pride, false pride. All of it to do nothing but destroy all of your addictions, all of your decadence and depravity. You know the wrong you did and the salvation you want from it, because now you know who you want to be. You want to live in Yahuwah. And so you're on your knees making that confession to no man, to Hamashiach, to the Messiah, to Yahusha, the Son of the Most High, He who saves. And then you're thankful in all things. You're thankful. You're grateful for all that you have, for His salvation is more than you could ever ask for. As I said, you receive all you could ever imagine and more, and all is revealed. And then you surrender. You surrender completely to Yahushua HaMashiach. You surrender because you've tried it your way and you see where it led you. And you're fortunate enough to have been called, to have heard, to have seen, to have known. And now you are on your knees. You're asking for that salvation. You're grateful for all that you have and more. And you're realizing now that you can no longer do this without His help, without His guidance, without His strength. And so you completely surrender to Him. And you ask for His guidance, direction, and strength. And for Him to show you how to live your life in a manner that pleases Him most. That His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And it will be. The only question is, will you be an instrument of His will? Will you be a vessel for His message? Because believe me, when you receive the word, He who calls is faithful, who will also do it. And He will bring you to the promised land. And you will deliver that message. Because you will love Him with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. So you will honor Him. You will honor His commandments. How could you not? You love Him with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And you will love your fellow man as you love yourself. How could you not? And in loving your fellow man like you love yourself, you will love yourself like you should love your fellow man, because you can't love your fellow man unless you nurture yourself, unless you keep the temple, His creation, unless you honor the creation, unless you respect the creation, you keep the temple that He gave you strong, which houses the Ruach HaKodesh. And so you nurture it with this training. And this training is nothing more than a pathway to connect. But in so doing, you're also strengthening the temple that houses the Spirit. And then you're feeding yourself the food of Yahuwah. You're no longer poisoning yourself with the food of man, the toxic, poisonous, chemical-ridden food of man. No, now you're feeding yourself the food of Yahuwah, single ingredient, clean foods, so that you could be strong and healthy to carry out the word, the message, the way, the truth, and the life, so you can walk in it with strength and be an example for your people and love your fellow man. Because now, as an example for your people, now in nurturing yourself, you can nurture your fellow man and you can encourage them, inspire them, motivate them, lift them up, build them up, and show them, just through your example, that all the pain and the suffering that they have, as you once had, all the doubt and fears that they have, that you once had, all the addictions, all the decadence, depravity, which they're living in and wallowing and want freedom from, that you were once there as well, but now you're saved, and now your heart is filled with His love and His light and His living law written on your soul. And by living that example, they too see that if you can be saved, if I can be saved, then they can be saved. He who calls you is faithful and will deliver on his promise. He who calls you will also do it, because he is faithful, just as you will be faithful, because he will make you faithful. And so you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have the strength. You don't have to have the will. You don't have to have the Spirit. All will be made manifest within you. All will be given to you. You will receive all of it and more. All will be revealed to you. And we will walk true and strong, ceaseless and relentless. We will carry the flag. We will carry the banner, united. We will do this. You're not alone. As I said, you're not alone on this faith walk. You have brothers and sisters who are children of Yahuwah, all of his lost children, all of his lost sheep that come to him. We become one in Yahuwah. We are united. We cannot be divided. They cannot sow hatred among us. They cannot sow war and misery among us. They can try to pit. They do. They pit brother against brother, man against man, woman against woman. They seek to divide and conquer, but they cannot. When we are strong in Yahuwah, he gives us the strength, the will, the way, the truth, and the life. And in having all faith in Yahuwah that he delivers to us, because he is faithful. In his promises we can rely, and so we become faithful. And in so being faithful, we wear his armor, such that we are impervious to their slings and their arrows and the influence and persuasion and indulgence that they tempt us with to walk off of the path. We are impervious to it because we wear the armor of Yah, and we wield the sword of the Ruach HaKodesh. The Spirit is like a sword, and when you wield it, it obliterates, disintegrates, evaporates, and destroys all the evil whisperers, all the psychic vampires, all the negative influencers, all of the haters and detractors and their evil words, their evil philosophies, their evil ways, all of it that they use, all of the power they use to corrupt you and render you asunder, yoke you to their will so that you die slowly so they may live, while Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah, died so we can live. You obliterated all as you now walk on the path. His Spirit is so strong, his light so true and bright, such that the path is unmistakable. And so we wave that flag, we fly that flag, we carry that banner, so that all who are lost may see that we are united and unstoppable, that we move and groove swiftly with speed and power as we march true and strong and steadfast to kingdom come.